Hello, everyone. My name is Krisha, and this is a video testimonial with one of my awesome clients, Megan Pastrana. Megan is an attorney, and she runs a law firm called Immigration for Couples. And so her realm is obviously in immigration, and it's highly niched, where she specializes in helping couples find their proper path to immigration into the United States. And she has an amazing team. And she herself is an amazing woman, person, human, with real beautiful intentions behind the work that she does. And we've been working together for a few months, helping her and her team with a myriad of things to do around sales and business development and team dynamics, and mindset and personal development side of things as well, because you can't do one without the other, in my opinion. Anyway, Megan, hi. Thank you so much for
Hi,
being here. How are you?
doing great. Thanks. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and share about my business and what I've learned from you. So thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah. So let's dive in. So uh, I wanted to just ask, like, what was your original reason for hiring me in the first place, or hiring my company in the first place?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different reasons. The primary one was that as a CEO, as a business owner, and as the managing attorney, I'm wearing so many different hats, and my team has grown so much, and even added basically a sales division. And I knew I needed support because I want my team, that's one of our core values, is continued growth and learning. And I want my team to have support that's beyond my expertise. And so that was the main reason. So I could have support not just for myself, but for my whole team, and in the realm of sales. And I also reached out and started working with you because I know we needed to do something different. I just had a blind spot, if you will, as to what that was. And I thought, if I can get an outside perspective, an expert to really just come in, look at everything in my business in the realm of sales, and give me some expert opinion on what are things that I could just do differently, and see if that will move the needle forward and help our business grow. So those are really the two main reasons that I was interested in reaching out and working with you.
Yeah, that's great. And I think you were also just feeling that overwhelm of wearing
Yeah.
all of those hats and needing to really start to like reduce that pressure for yourself and figure out how to silo this a little bit more.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. Yeah.
delegate and remove the trim the fat, as it were.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, because
yeah.
it's easy to just think, oh, I can do all these things, but the reality is we all have the same 24 hours, and it's not beneficial for my well-being, and it's not beneficial in my business to keep trying to be the doer of all the things. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you felt like that you were the bottleneck.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and has that improved for you over the last few months?
Yeah, definitely realizing that there are the areas that I can delegate, and the way that I can do things just in a more, taking things on a day-to-day basis, what I can actually do today. And then what are the things I really don't need to be the one doing, and leaning into trust with my team, and my ability to trust my team has really increased. I've that's I know trust is earned over time, but realizing you helped me see someone's potential to do even more that I wouldn't have seen on my own. And so that has helped me to overcome that overwhelm and being the bottleneck, because you helped me to see, wait, this person on my team is great, and they have these skill sets that I didn't realize they had, that they were able to do even more in a different way, that removed things from my plate to help me to not be the doer of all things. So yeah.
Mhm. I think this is a challenge that most entrepreneurs face. It's like, you need help, you want help, you even hire help.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
then it's like there's still sort of like that hoarding of like delegation that happens because we have this like mindset that we can do it faster or on our own, or it's just easier if we just do it ourselves or something like that. Or like you said, just like not really recognizing the full breadth of what's possible in our team members. So I really commend you for, like being like, yeah, okay, like I'm willing and open because I don't want to be the bottleneck and I don't want to feel this overwhelm anymore. And, like working through the resistance or working through whatever it was, in order to like really let your team shine and let the company grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now you guys are in that sort of like next phase of growth, and like you said, bringing in a sales team, and giving her more responsibility and giving her things that will allow her to help you grow your business.
Yeah, definitely. And something I was thinking of as you're saying all of that, to the trust component and letting people on your team do more. Sometimes I think as business owners, we maybe are trying to protect that person from making a mistake, from failing, and realizing, wait, everybody, like there's no such thing as perfect, and I need to give them the spaciousness to do that. And that's actually inspiring and motivating. And so I've seen, because this individual on my team has been given that spaciousness and that ability to do more and really take on an ownership role of their job in a different way, because they're spearheading something that wasn't really even on our mind or on our agenda of things to do, because of working with you, of starting to do sales in a different way. They were able to spearhead that project and then just give me updates and ask for my input where it needed to be requested. And it's really motivated and inspired that team member. They feel like they're really moving the needle forward.
That's
So
great.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want. Yay,
Yeah.
happy team members.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit more about doing things in a new way. I know you were in potentially looking at other sales supports, and something was just missing the mark for you. So I'd love to hear about that, and then move into what has been different. What are the different kind of ROIs that you've received from this type of container?
Yeah. So where do I want to start? Probably with the fact that I've done sales training for quite a few years. I mean, in my prior life, right, I worked in the bank at a bank and in an insurance industry and was selling, and there was sales training. And I once I became a business owner, I started taking all kinds of different sales training and reading books and doing all of those things. And there was always a piece of the puzzle that was missing. That sales just felt, sales for a lot of people have that negative connotation, and I was still having a piece of that in my mindset with sales, that it felt uncomfortable and it felt difficult, and there was just that piece missing, right? And so the part that has been different in the training with you, and I know you and we met in an ethical sales container. The word you used is heart-centered when we were working together, and you are heart-centered in your work in the world. My firm is as well. And it was that piece, a heart-centered piece in sales, like realizing that it's not manipulation, it's helping the person get to clarity. It's having honest and transparent conversations with individuals about whether or not our firm is in alignment for what they're needing in their life, and that it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. And sales are a kindness. They're not something, because you always think about like the car salesman and things like that, where it feels like you're being pressured, and it's not about that. And that was the piece that I think in a lot of my prior sales training, the goal was like, get the sale. You have to get the sale, and only then is it a success. But really just being comfortable with, it might be a no, and that actually might be great for us and for them. We're just kind of dating to see, hey, is this going to work? Is this going to be a good long-term relationship? So that heart-centered approach and realizing that goal is not to get the sale, is what was different with you. And that was that missing piece of the puzzle. So, do you want me to talk then on like one of the blind spots and the ways that we started handling sales differently, or?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So one of the biggest, we've gained so much from working from you, but one of the biggest things was you came in and you listened to what we were doing as a team and how we were approaching sales, and you realized, hey, you have individuals, prospective clients, that they don't really need legal advice. So they don't actually really need a paid consultation with you as the attorney. That was one of the places where I was a bottleneck, because I only have so many spaces on the calendar. But you realized there are people that they don't need legal advice. They just want to talk to a live person, and they want to understand what our firm is about and what it looks like to work with us and what it costs. That's all that they want to know. And that the individual that I have on my team, that she can give them that. She can give them that clarity and that information, and that can be done at no cost to the prospect, so they can learn more about us and see if it's an alignment, to work with us. And that's not something that I had ever considered or thought about being a possibility. And so that's been excellent. That's been amazing, because it's giving people that educational component, the information about what it looks like to work with us, so they can make an educated decision. And then sometimes they realize, hey, they do need legal advice, and then they can have that paid consultation with me. But a lot of times that gives that person the clarity they need to work with our firm, and that can be done by this person on my team, and it doesn't have to always be me. So that they're able to hire us and work with us. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was huge.
yeah, that's great. And yes, exactly. She's a non-attorney
Yep.
salesperson, right? And so I think this is a bottleneck for a lot of attorneys, is that thought or that fear that, well, if I'm not the one having the conversation with the potential new client, then I'm going to lose out on that sale. And that was definitely something that you and I had talked about. And with my experience in legal sales, like I've done legal sales, and I'm not an attorney.
Hmm.
Joke is I just play one on TV, right? And it has never stopped from being able to generate sales or anything like that. But it's because it is that buffer that's between the attorney that can sometimes give too much information
Yeah.
and cause the potential new client to like run off into the sunset, thinking they can do it themselves, or they have what
Confusion.
they need, or confusion or something like that, right? So having that, like, and your time is very precious as you are the CEO, you're the wearer of all the hats. And for you to be sitting on a bunch of 30-minute introductory discovery calls, that's not the best use of your time. And so yeah, creating that delineation there, and then giving your team member an opportunity to really shine in that role, I agree, was one of the best things that we did.
There was a lot, but that was one of the big ones. And I will say, for all the attorneys that may be listening or watching this, I had the resistance that you might be like feeling in your body as well, of I can't be giving, people that aren't attorneys can't give legal advice. And being worried about the ethics of that. And that was something where I kind of braced when you gave that idea, when you threw that idea out there. And the attorney in me was starting to think of all the ways that it couldn't work. But then I thought, no, I want to be open. This is why I hired you. I want to be open to this. How can we do this in a way that's safe, and giving the potential client clarity without giving them legal advice? And you helped coach our team beautifully. And they are very honest and transparent with the person that gets on the call. I'm not an attorney. I can't give legal advice. I'm here so we can talk about your goals and what it looks like to work with us. And people really do receive that and understand that. And my sales team is very clear on what they can talk about and what they can't talk about. And when it gets into legal advice, they're able to offer them that paid consultation with me, or that is the very first thing that happens when a client hires, and we go over all of that so they have clear legal advice. So just wanted to throw that out there, because I know as attorneys we always brace and think that can't be possible. There's a lot of judgment around that. But but prospects have loved it. So
Yeah. And it's a thing, because non-attorney salespeople are apparently called dragons. And like, so there's a whole category for non-attorney salespeople. I don't know. I can just see how it works, and it does work,
yeah.
and so I was a real advocate for that for you guys. That's awesome. Do you have any other things that you want to share about the results that you got with us working together?
Yeah. There's so let me try to pick one first. There's a couple. The cohesion with my team, having better cohesion and better, how would I say it, being on the same page. because it's really easy we all have our zone of joy and genius in the law firm, and we're just like in it, I'm doing the casework, I'm doing the things, and then my team members are in it and doing their things. And sometimes it's almost like we're little floating satellites that aren't connected. And I always like to say we work autonomously together. And for that to happen, we have to have regular meetings. And you helped us to get really on a better schedule, and how to have fluid, clear communication and cadence and what we're each doing. So we're doing things in the same way. So our product is clear and like smooth as silk, if you will, for our clients. We're all on the same page. And so that was huge. You really helped with that. And you helped me to see, really what my team needs from me as a leader and how I can give that feedback. And that was huge. And then you giving my team, that was the other value add, you giving my sales team members somebody to talk to that's not me, because I don't think that I'm intimidating, but apparently when you're the CEO, it just comes with the territory. And sometimes there's things that might be uncomfortable for a team member to share with you as the CEO. And they want to do a good job. My team wants to do a good job. And we're working on that perfectionism isn't a thing, and that mistakes happen and we grow, but it still is intimidating when you're talking to the owner. You want to keep your job. You want to do a really great job. And you being a neutral party that can give them a place, again, some spaciousness to express areas that might be more difficult to share with me, areas that they are struggling and want to grow and have feedback given to them. And so you kind of came in and bridged that discomfort and helped both of us to really see the other person's perspective and how we can communicate in a way that's candid and nobody's feelings get hurt, that we understand we're on the same team. And so those were two other huge takeaways that we got from working with you.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody needs a little outlet sometimes,
yeah.
to learn and to be able to grow and share frustration or doubts or self-doubts or whatever, in a container that's safe and that's not going to get because I've never shared with you anything that was discussed in any
No,
of those conversations, right? Because that was that was confidential stuff
it's her
between
sacred place. Yeah.
it was their sacred place. And not that there was anything like negative ever said, but it was just
No.
like their safe place to be able to say what needed to be said so that they could get to their next level of growth and expansion within themselves,
Yeah.
And you and I had a lot of conversations like that because I insisted on that mindset piece, right? Because as a business owner, it like, the strategy is a strategy is a strategy, but it's like kind of useless or pointless almost if you're bottlenecking because of your own internal stuff, whatever's going on there. And we did a lot of work on that as well.
Mhm.
Helping you expand in your own self too, and having that space to kind of clang around. Because I find like I've worked with CEOs and successful professional women, and they don't really have anybody to talk to. Like,
Mhm.
there's not a lot of
Lonely. Can be
really,
lonely as a leader, owner. Yeah.
yeah, right. And it's like you can't show any cracks. You can't be vulnerable here, and you can't, and you've got all this pressure to like want to create a good environment for your team, and then like, all of these things. And so there's that container for you too to kind of cling around and bounce around and do your thing in there, so that you can show up for your
Yeah.
clients, and you can show up for your team member and your relationships and your doggies.
Yeah, the puppies. So I'd be
Yeah,
present with them.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
What about in terms of, like conversions or financials or anything like that? I know like it takes time to turn the ship, when it comes from doing sales in one way and then
Mhm.
changing it over in another way. But talk to me a little bit about how that's been, how that's improved or changed for you over the course of our time together.
Yeah. And really, I want to start with saying too that another value add that we got that from you that helped with our conversions is embodying what we charge, like
Okay.
integrating that, right? And so, you're doing the right thing. The right thing in the world, your work in the world, if you do it for free, right? I love working with couples. I love being their guide. If we didn't need money, I would still probably be doing that with my life. So I know I'm, in the right area, in my work in the world. But there's even if you have something of great value and that you can really impact someone's life, there can sometimes just be that voice of, is this price right? Is this what I should charge? Especially when prospects brace or say, whoa, that's a lot. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And but the value that they get from our services is so worth so much more than that. But getting to that place in my mind, reconciling all the different, voices, if you will, and realizing, yes, this is the price, and that this is the price to be able to give you this luxury high-end experience. And then to have a conversation with that prospect, not from a place of defensiveness or lacking confidence or anything like that, but really having a conversation with them to get clear on, is that, does that make sense for you? Is this a financial investment, that the rewards of getting to the finish line and getting your green card and being able to have your life in the United States, what is that worth to you? And for us as a team, for my team to be financially nourished, for us to have the best systems and the best experience for clients, that, the price has to be what it is. And so you really helped us to embody that and just be like, yeah, we're a luxury brand. We provide the best experience. We are the top firm in the country. And yeah, that's the price. And let's talk about that if this is possible for you. So you helping Lisa and I to do that has helped me to just be like, when people say, gosh, wow, I think, yeah, wow. And I don't feel anxiety about it. I don't feel like I have to defend it. We talk through it. And oftentimes the person says, yeah, that makes sense. That probably, yeah, that I understand why you charge that. And it feels so good. And then sometimes they just say, oh, I would love to be able to work with you. That's not possible for me right now. And I can be comfortable with both. I don't feel any like fear. It's not about me. It's not about my firm's service. It really comes down to, yeah, embodying that price. And so you've helped us to have more conversions as a result of that. That's been the key, to being able to get, to have more conversions, to be able to have those honest conversations with people and bring them to clarity. So
I
yeah.
love that. Exactly, because like that's part of that mindset piece that we were just talking about, right? It's like, because I noticed that in the very beginning, it was like I felt like this energy, a dissonance, if you will, between the price and the energetic of what you guys were putting out there. And I was like, whoa, everybody stop.
Mm-hmm.
We need to, like, embody this and just own that, own the fact that you are this luxury law firm. And but not just that, because you could be a luxury law firm and then, like, completely drop the ball in the fulfillment side of things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the companies that I work for, or with, like, I only work with people who I know are going to fulfill on the other side,
Yep.
right? Because otherwise, like, then there's no integrity in that.
Yeah.
And you guys were doing both. Like, you are fulfilling on the other side, and you're fulfilling at a really high level and a really beautiful level, and what you were offering was awesome. And so I was like, you should be charging this much. Like, yes, like, no shame in that. Like, yeah, like own this, and like, really feel that the embodiment of what it is that you're providing for these people. And I think that that sales trauma from, like the car salesman or whatever you want to call it, where people have that sticker shock or whatever, right? And it tends to make us doubt and go, oh
Yep.
God, like, am I charging too much? you
Yeah.
know and feel that shame or feel that, like, embarrassment or whatever you want to call it, for the rates that we charge. But yeah, I think we really helped you guys see, like, no, you've got the fulfillment side of things nailed here.
Mm-hmm.
you know and
Yeah.
you do provide a really beautiful service for your people, you
Yeah.
know and so, yeah, you should be charging what you're charging. And I don't think it's like an exorbitant amount of money. I think it's like
Oh,
reasonable for what they're
it's,
getting,
yeah, for what you're getting. Exactly. And I'll say that we've had so many clients when we get to the finish line, or even when we're in the middle, they tell us, oh my gosh, this is worth every dollar. I'm so glad we did this. You're taking like stress off of our shoulders. And when I ask clients, what is the number one tip you would give to couples who are just starting out? They always say it's totally worth it to invest in an expert, because you don't know what you don't know. And it's helpful to see. Yeah, definitely. We fulfill the services that we offer.
Yeah.
But for sure. Yeah.
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So let's just quickly talk numbers and conversions. Just for anybody who's like, okay, that's nice and fluffy, but because at the end of the day, yes, we are heart-centered, and we do want to give people choice. And there is an ethical sales portion to this for sure, but also have to pay our staff, and we
Yeah.
need to, like we do. And I'm a huge advocate for women making money in the world, and doing what we love. Right? Like, and being of service. Like, it's a big passion of mine to have all of those pieces in place, and for like a long time we kind of were just like, oh, I'll just give, but don't worry about me, kind of thing,
Yeah.
which is a whole underbelly of like what we're dealing with as women here in society, that I'm trying to like help shift and change. But you are running a business at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and this is your main source of income for your personal and for your team members. So it's not just like love and light and fluff and heart. There is a business component to it. There is a strategic component to it. It is about conversions, and it is about bringing in the right kind of people in the door,
Yeah.
right? Who do have the money to pay, and who can do so freely and willingly, or can figure it out, or whatever, right? So tell me a little bit about the numbers and your conversions, and that, and how they've maybe shifted, or what's happened in there for you.
Sure. So our conversions, the amount of clients that we have been able to potential clients that we've been able to convert to clients, has gone up by 20% since removing me as the bottleneck and having my other team member take on a sales role based on your feedback, and then also on your feedback of integrating the price. So yeah, we've increased the amount of our conversions by 20% every month.
That's awesome.
We are still continuing to scale. We want to increase by another 30 to 40% to be able to reach our revenue goal for next year, for the end of the year. We are a 7-figure law firm, and we are looking to double our size in the next 3 years. And so this conversion increasing by 20%, we from working with you, I anticipate if we continue to do this along with our marketing efforts, that we'll be able to continue increasing our conversion rates to get to that revenue goal. Is that helpful
Yes.
enough? I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
20%. It's amazing.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. And these are really awesome people too, that you're bringing in the door.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. Yes, it is a business. We do have to make money. And I want our team, we are choosy on who we work with. I want our team to work with people who just really fill our cups, that are just a joy to work with, that have a higher emotional intelligence, understand that the immigration process is long, but aren't, falling into that victim mindset, and really see us as part of their team, and we're working together. And so we've been, very selective on who we work with. And like you said, individuals that are able to invest at that higher rate and still, feel buoyant and feel uplifted about their decision. And we love our clients. Like we do. It's great. I know a lot of businesses, law firms specifically, maybe you feel like that you can't pick your clients, that you can't tell somebody no, because you just need to have that income come in. But when you're really selective on who you work with, it makes you more efficient, more productive, and it makes it a better experience for everyone. So
Yeah. Yay. That's so exciting. Any last words, maybe on my style, because I know I have a very unique style.
yeah.
Being heart-centered and being a coach too. I'm also like a powerful mindset coach for women. And I leave no stone unturned. when it comes to that. And yes, I'm just curious that, so if there's an attorney out there listening right now and she's just like pulling her hair out and she's feeling like she's the bottleneck and she's considering all of these options, what would you say to her about bringing in my company to help her and my style and what she should be, aware of?
Yeah. So when we're in our own thoughts all the time, like that narrative bubble, and then just getting stuck in that loop of our thoughts, the stress and overwhelm, if that's where our narrative bubble, our thoughts are, it can just keep growing and it's hard to get out. And so it's extremely important, I have found, having someone who can help me with my mindset, to reframe, to look at the truth of my thoughts and the truth and the reality. But with your approach specifically, I would call it almost a little bit of like a spiritual experience, for lack of another word to describe it. I know my team has said that too. They say they go in with like, how do I respond to this objection, or how do I, but there's something deeper than the how. There's usually something inside of us, a thought, a pattern, something from our childhood or the past that we've been taught to think that might not be true or accurate. And so you help to get to the root of that. That's that heart-centered approach, right? To uncover those patterns, uncover those thoughts that might be leading to our bracing for a certain objection, or why something feels difficult. And then once you overcome that mindset, or at least maybe you don't overcome it, but become cognizant of it and know the steps to take as that growth edge, if you will, in our personal development. It's really great to be able to at least be cognizant of it, know the steps to take to get out of it. And I'm working on that. Yeah, I'm working on that with you. It's nice. It's not just nice. It's great to have you, because like you said, as a business owner, there's vulnerability that you can have with your team to an extent. And then you need someone who really understands what it means to be an entrepreneur and a female entrepreneur. The loneliness that sometimes can come with that, because there's certain things, like you said, you can't share with others, to be able to have someone who gets it and just can be a sounding board, can just hold space for me to, like you've done that for me to express, and then to work on that self-care component and work on being cognizant of certain patterns that I'm running, and work on the steps that I can take to move through that. So yes,
Yeah.
and I would really encourage anyone who is stuck in frustration or overwhelm or struggling with sales conversions to work with you, or to consider it at a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. I think that might be all the questions I've got. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share? Any parting thoughts?
I mean, I'm just very grateful. I'm really, really grateful to have had and to have you on our team as one of our mentors and guides. And yeah, so thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me today. I appreciate it, being able to
Oh,
share all of this. So
yeah, no, I'm so grateful. And yeah, but before we hopped on recording, I shared with you how grateful I am to have been part of this journey so far with you and watch your company grow and the dynamics like shift and you guys get like closer and tighter as a team. And it's just like working more like cohesively. And from that, it becomes this juggernaut that just like keeps growing, but it's done in that like really beautiful aligned way. So
yeah.
very blessed to be part of your team in that way. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching this testimonial review, whatever you want to call it, with Megan. If you want to reach out to her directly for immigration support, it's immigrationforcouples.com. Is that
Yep.
URL?
Yep.
Immigrationforcouples.com. Their firm does amazing work. So if you or somebody that needs some support in that area, definitely give their team a call. They know what they're doing and they will absolutely help you every step of the way. Thank you so much, Megan. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.